Hello, Folkerinos. How are we? How are we? Absolutely awesome humans. Surprise stream. Surprise stream. What is cooking, epic humans? I'm looking for some material for... Whoa, hello. To work with before...
Surprise sub.
Indeed. Indeed. Mr. Ramanujan. Thank you, thank you. Aren't you a lovely human? Ramanujan, as a counteract of kindness, what would you say if we started off the stream with a masterpiece that may or may not have been played by you behind the black pieces in the fried liver? What says you to that proposition? Ah, come on, don't be so humble. Oh shit, I've got messages. Should I dogs them? Nah. Not today. Not today. Just give me a sec, I need to check out what these messages are all about. Oh boy. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Alright, let's roll. Let's roll, ladies and gentlemen. We might be... The computer have destroyed the sense of what is good. I'd strongly disagree. I strongly disagree. This morning I went to get a coffee. I was served by a lovely lady, and I have to tell you that they both looked very, very, very nice, and the computer could destroy neither of those. Okay, we'll wait for Engar to come back, and then we will start a party with his own game. Oblivion! Hello, hello. Are you Spanish? Says Victor with a W. Sí, señor. Uno más, por favor. No, of course I'm not. Oh, not even close, my friend. Not even close. Not even close. Beans to Boganten. Welcome in. Thanks for the subski, brother. Thank you. No, I'm not Spanish. I'm Hungarian born. Australian, mate. Straya. Straya is where it's at. Estudio Español. No, I do not estudio Español, regrettably. However, my daughter does. And I keep on pressing her and she keeps on resisting. Which is very annoying. Because I really want her to smash Spanish. Alright, is Rengao back? Not yet. Rengao is not yet back. Oh, he is back, as a matter of fact. Okay, let's get rolling. I very briefly blitzed through the game, so I don't exactly know what to expect when we take another more precise and detailed look, but I expect nothing but fame and glory and sunshine out of this marvelous human in the black trunks. Okay. Knight g4. Hello. This didn't even register that we went for this line and not for the knight d5 one. Alright. Dig it. I dig it. I dig this. I really do. Binstopokkanten. I thought that you were already a follower. Thank you, buddy. Make sure you follow me on YouTube too then. King h1. Queen h4. Marveloso gameplay here. What's wrong with f5? I'm somehow feeling f5. But okay, queen h4. Fine. f3. I'm guessing queen e1 would be the move, right? To play f3 next. And knowing what an animal Rengao is, he probably would have taken this and this. And then maybe a check. And then maybe some kind of rook lift shenanigans. I don't know. I don't know. Meraviglioso. I don't know what that means, but hello. Oh, cheese, mate. Cheese. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, knight g4 is a nasty line for sure. I'm looking at here this tuck e4 idea with the check, and oh boy, are we looking sexy here. So let's say bishop tuck, chuck. Morphe entered the chat. Morphe entered the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Morphe. Not bad. Not bad, but this is a not obvious find at all. The e4 move, that is definitely a tricky one. Here too, probably e4 look good with either this or this, depending on how they take back. But I dig this. Yeah, the irony is real. E4 seems to be the constant go-to here. Hi, dog. I like that. I like that a lot. You come in and you treat me as hi, dog. Yeah, e4 is hot. Bishop takes, and then we have got f5 and bishop d6 as well. The really cool line is actually f5, bishop d3, pull back, f4, and then c5 with bishop b7. Oh la la. Oh la 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 la. That is where the good stuff is at. All right, let's continue our business operations. So the game went with Knight g1, knight h5, bishop e6. Sexy chess. Develop, develop, develop. Alright, can we find here a neat tactic for white that would have caused a little bit of problem for us? White to move, be a pest. Let's go. Let's go. Mr. Nova Chess Guy in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together. As the legends are gathering. So white to move, be a pest. What does that look like? Very good. Dark is coming in dark on the YouTube chat. So Checkerino. And then d4. Boomski. Boomski. Hi, 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 hi. That is filthy. Oh, and Mr. Hockey Dude. And now Rengao as well. Oh, boy. We have got the entire crew. Okay, so that was on. F5, very good. Now we cancelled both of those problems. That cancels most of our problems. That F5 is like a proper snowflake Gen Z human. Cancels everybody. Very good. Okay. Bishop back. Knight G3. Rook to E8. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the type of chess that you should strive to play. This. Paul Morphy has got written once again all across the board. Like it goes like right across the board. His signature, Paul Morphy. Lawyer, barrister. Barrister would be bad. He doesn't make coffees. He's a barrister. Right? This is what people don't master enough when they are up and coming chess players in the 1000 to 2000 rating range. We don't see enough of this. 0 Fs are given about material deficit and we're just going after it. This is good chess. Take stakes, very good. Bishop E2. F4. Rengao is definitely bringing on the heat. D3, Rook F6. Now we are hinting at checkmates. Very good. G4. Yeah, that's not pretty. Take. Bishop D5. Chat, do we have a better move here than Bishop D5? What should we be contemplating here as an alternative? Swishen took slight detour in that story, but it's gonna happen, don't worry. That's me, man. I am barefoot. Thank you for the follow, brother. So, what's the move, ladies? I'm sorry, I will be as honest as I can be about this. I did not even acknowledge the fact that this knight was hanging because I thought that this was gonna be absolute carnage. But I just don't see a move after rook. Wait. Oh! Actually, this is neat. You have to be very careful here. I assumed rook h6, but I realized that there is a cunning defense here for white. Let's start here, guys. Can we Can we spot what white can play after rook h6 that doesn't lose the game on the spot? And then we will go back to the other question. I'm sorry, I'm confusing the crew. Whoa! Look at Charlie! Hello? Bishop takes f4, ladies. No, no, no. On the contrary, that's the move, buddy. You are like Grandmaster Odorian from Hungary. Even when he blundered, he said brilliant ideas. Because after take, I can trade the queens. And now I just defended the mate. And white is winning. So consequently, rook h6 is not playable. We need to actually shield the 5th rank first, which is a pretty casual move, having just lost a piece. But then again, who cares about a knight here when we want to mate here? And now after queen e1, rook h6, we're back to the status quo. And h4 is only move here. And your engine would tell you that black is winning here, but you still need to score some goals like rook g3, rook g6, rook g3, stuff like that. So yeah, black is winning, but this was not obvious. This was not obvious by any stretch. Okay, so question 2. What win did our good friend miss here? Tom Flo, please, 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 I beg you, let's talk about chess, please. Rook h6 is hanging. Senori, we can't go there. Be very careful. Rook g6 is second best move in the position. Charlie is killing it today. Oh, you meant rook g6. Yeah, second best. Second best. So it turns out, guys, that e4 is where it's all at. Opening up this. And if queen takes d6, then after ef3, we are going to be able to utilize the diagonal and the discovery. And white is cactus here, as we like to say it in Straya. White is cactus. Hello, Noaid. Yeah, I know. I noticed that Tom called it on YouTube. I'm sorry, I was too late to check the other chat. So rook f3 loses to bishop d5 when every single white piece is hanging. Whereas bishop takes f3, you just casually capture, capture, capture here, and then you name it, whatever you want, it's mate. Whatever you want, it's mate. So that was missed. That was unfortunate. But now we are back at it. Good ski. Very, very good ski. E4. Queen F2. Tuck. And here comes the sexy. Who is the fastest one to spot the deadly blow? This should be like an instinct move that you look at first. Because it screams to be good. Yes! Very well done, Mr. Nova Chess guy. If you're not looking at rook e2, you are not playing this position. Rook e3 is the move. Rook e dos. And, oh! I thought that white resigned here. But apparently they wanted to fight on. So the point, of course, is that after take, this is a little discovery check. And here we have got the sexiest mate in 2 in history, which would be queen h2, takes, and then we promote to a rock. That's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. Opponent decided that they wanted to suffer for a few moves more. Oh wow, who played this game? One of the most famous mathematician of our era. The legend hailing from India, Professor Ramanujan. He's also known as Rengao in the chat. Super sexy would have been bishop h2. With the idea of f2. Yes, the Hungarian guyash is something else, especially when it's spelled and pronounced correctly. But bishop g3 is also absolute carnage city. Matutsky incoming, Matutsky incoming. Opponent doesn't know where the resign button is. I will pretend, Rengao, that you didn't have a mate in 2 here. That was for the shits and giggles, right? No, I wasn't having a go at your American. Everyone spells guyash with an L without the Y because they don't understand why the Y is in there. But in the Hungarian language, there are 2 letter combinations that make the Y sound. One of them is the letter J, surprisingly. That's Y. And the other one is the LY combo. It's one of the little details about the Hungarian language that when Hungarian kids grow up, they hate with passion that they were born to be Hungarian, because when it comes to spelling, there is absolutely no rule whatsoever for words why the Y sound is spelled with J in one word and with LY in another. So you basically have to memorize the entire thing because there is no logic whatsoever. Like none. It's just one is one, the other is the other. And good freaking luck. Anyway, Rengao, that was good entertainment, brother. That was good entertainment. I'm very, very pleased. Alright, I'm going to bring you some games for analysis unless someone else wants to have their own games analyzed. Thank you, Rengao, for doing that. I'm just looking for the first candidate game. I'm looking at a game, or rather a set of games, from a gentleman who became a little bit infamous back in the day when he set up a poll, a website basically, but all it was a poll about the hottest women in chess, and it quickly sent him from being a cool guy to infamy, although as far as I understand there were no bad intentions behind it. A notorious alcoholic, womanizer, and an incredibly talented chess player is what we are going to look at now, or who we are going to look at now. If you have got a banger hangout, you can send it across. But actually, I wanted to share a game of my own, if you guys don't mind, because there were actually some requests about this topic, so I thought that I would cover it. The Carlsbad was requested, and I played a game last night where I decided to, instead of going for crazy kingside shenanigans, I opted for a quieter story with the minority attack, and a lot of people asked me to show what it looks like, what it accomplishes, all that stuff. Hello, Colin. So if anyone is down with that, I'm gonna show you a Carlsbad game, but that's not to say that I'm dissing Rangao. I'm still happy to have a look at his masterpieces. So, this is what went down yesterday. I'm white. This is a just sub 2600 blitz on eChess. So the funky thing is that generally speaking, the Carlsbad is more typical in the bishop g5 lines of the Queen's Gambit decline, like in the classical variation, which looks like this. But because of I recommend the bishop f4 variation in my club players opening repertoire, that's what I tend to play. And so here we are, Carlsbad structure. Bishop d3, rook e8. And I played here what I considered to be a very important move, although it could have waited one more move. I played h3 here, of course something that I would bite my students' heads off, except that this is actually a good move either here or after knight f8. And the reason why this move needs to be played here is because black is threatening to hunt this bishop down. And in fact, one of the biggest issues in the other main line of the Queen's Gambit declined, I shouldn't call it an issue, but a common theme in this setup is that black gets to play knight e4 and trade at least a pair, but potentially two pairs of pieces. And it allows them reasonably easy development and equality. For example, take, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight d2, knight f6. And there's not a lot going on here. It's a dead even position. And when you encounter the same structure with the bishop on f4, what you will find is that black cannot trade into any of these. They can do bishop d6, but trading bishop for bishop without, you know, having the knights involved in all this business is definitely favorable to us. Not to mention that after bishop d6, in this structure, white can, and in fact I would wholeheartedly recommend them, to switch plans and instead of going for the minority attack, go for a central pile-up with knight e5, put your pieces in the center, and when the knight gets challenged, what do we do, chat? Well done, Mr. Ramanujan. We back the knight on e5 with pawn f4, creating a very, very firm backup for the knight on e5, and this knight on e5 definitely secures a noticeable advantage to white by its sheer presence in the middle of the board, can't be kicked, can't be traded, and black lacks here play. So, opponent went knight e6. I played bishop to e5. I was contemplating bishop h2 as well, but I thought that the bishop on e5 was a bit of a pesky customer. Yeah, exactly. The Pillsbury attack, or at least its outlines, were to be seen in the f4 idea. So bishop e5, g6 played. Now the reason behind g6 usually in the Carlsbad Queen's Gambit declined is that black wants to trade this bishop for this bishop by playing knight g7 and bishop f5. It's a sound plan, but when I was in the game, I considered it to be a bit too long. And so I said about the minority attack. What did we play? Whatever, mate. How are you going, bud? Very good, rook a b1. I always tell people that when they want to prepare b4, don't do a3. Play rook b1. And if they play a5, then you play a3. If they don't, then you play b4. Because if they don't play anything here, then after b4, b5, your rook is already on the correct file. Whereas if you start with a3, they do nothing, then after b4, you still need to play rook b1. Yeah, I think I just answered you, rang out. Hello, guy. Yes, I got a cancellation for work last night, so I was not meant to be here. I didn't mean to trick or lie to you. Trust me, I'm much happier that you are here than not. Is this my game? Yes, it is. So yeah, basically rook b1 is more versatile than a3 in accomplishing what we want. a5 and now a3. Knight g7, b4. And now the idea is simply to play b5 and create a weak pawn on c6. Take was played, and bishop f5 was played. Both players are carrying out their respective plans reasonably logically. But I just felt during the game that my plan was a lot more meaningful than theirs. I played b5 because we're not here to engage with spiders in various one-on-one activities. No need to take, no need to adjust, no need to do anything other than carrying out your plan. Take, and okay, free. Now, I did see this idea before I went for b5. I saw that they were gonna take, and create this very obnoxious pin. However, I evaluated, I think, the whole situation correctly, and I responded to it correctly too. What would you do? Take on c6. Yep, it's doable. That's a mouse slip. But if we do... No, I think it's fine. Yeah, they have to take back because 94 we can just keep on taking, yeah? Goody. So yeah, essentially take is good, but after take, we are back in the same situation as in the game. So what do we do now? Queen somewhere. Yes, very good, Charlie. So we are going to play Queen c2, Rook fc1, piling up on c6. I played Queen c2 first before taking on c6, but this is just a move order thing. Here, Black can't really avoid the trade. They should not take here because that isolates two pawns. And pawn c5 loses the d5 pawn to bishop takes f6 and then knight d5. That is an unexpected payoff for putting my bishop on e5 about 10 moves ago. Hello, Moves. How are you going, buddy? That's... You always make a comment about that moves, and I always appreciate your kindness, but you should know that those are not real numbers. That's chess.com in bed. Right, so rook fc1, opponent plays knight d7. What do we do? Let's go, team. Let's go, let's go! Mr. Charlie says, let's take on c6. That's exactly what I did. Take back. And here I missed a super obvious move. I apologize to everyone for not playing it. Everyone in the chat would play the next move, except I didn't, because I'm a potato. Yes, 4 wise. You can give me some grief for not playing this move. I played knight e2 first because I wanted to go after the c6 pawn, but this is a little bit inaccurate. Opponent played rook c8, and then I corrected my mistake by going in. Opponent played queen d8, and here I played a move which I considered to be a total no-brainer. It turns out it's the best move on the board, but I actually blundered a response. Like, I didn't see a possibility, but then it turned out that it wasn't playable. What did I play? What did I overlook? Let's go. Jazz, I wasn't meant to stream today, but I got a cancellation from work, from my teaching job last night. So I thought, well, I might as well then show up for Jazz and Mr. Guy on YouTube and show them some love. And so here I am. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You should be touched. Ahmed Ali. I always forget if Ahmed Ali is from Egypt or not, but I think he's an Egyptian dude. Super early though. Yeah, exactly. Charlie, you are as good as at blundering as I am. I played knight f4, and as soon as I played it... Oh, I did remember correctly. He's an Egyptian dude. That's awesome. I overlooked f6. Now, the good thing about chess is that 98.5% of the times, when you have got an army that is this well placed, where every single piece is looking like a Picasso painting, it's extremely unlikely that you are going to fall victim of tactics. It doesn't mean that I'm promoting complacency. It just means that I'm promoting healthy chess pieces or piece formations rather than shitty ones. Because then, even when you walk into something like this, you will find that more often than not that actually you're totally fine. So while it was my opponent's turn, I was thinking quite heavily about what the fridge I was gonna do against f6, and I found the idea that was going to save my skin. Knight g6, I don't know if that helps you. What do you have to take back? I don't get that. What? Wait. Knight g6, I just take the knight. I'm not taking the bishop. You need to calculate, guys. Calculate. Top entertainment. Always, my friend, always. Always. Well, when you bring in your queen, you don't lose your energy. You lose the game because you lose a second piece, and we don't have an awful lot for it. That's the problem. By the way, is the YouTube chat dead or what's happening there? Mr. Guy. Oh, wow. As I am saying it, Mr. Guy throws a $5 in my face. You send me a couple of games. Okay. I'll have a look. You did indeed. Okay. Okay, we have got some entertainment incoming. The Sonics, I am not rejecting invitations to big broadcasts. The big broadcasts seem to think differently from what we think. So, I'm still waiting for what we do here. Henda. It is indeed knight d5, but can we get a line, please? Oh, to be fair, before the ChessCom merger, I was featured a couple of times on Chess24. Thank you, Mr. Guy. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Yeah, obviously knight d cd is easy. The question is knight d fe. What do we do after knight takes d5 fe5? Guy is a superstar. Yeah, Guy is a superstar. At first I thought you meant me, but then I realized that you're referring to his name. Saw your podcast you just did. Really good. I haven't done a podcast for a fair while, so which one are you referring to? So knight takes fe. Can anyone give me a conclusive line there? Not as easy as it may look. Yeah, I like Malcolm, how you are giving me a complete line. That's very good. So Malcolm says that let's take e7 and then let's take e5 and let's regain the piece. And frankly, perfect. Like, you don't need to complicate shit just for the sake of complicating it. Rook d8 is not playable because of knight c6. The game is over. If you really want to turn on the cute, you can actually take this first. This is an even more beautiful win. If they take e5, you take e7, and then everything is hanging. So we gain everything back with interest. Whereas if they take, you take this, you take, it's a check, and everybody is hanging on the 7th rank. Hey, Moves is redeeming a game anal as well. Awesome. We're going to have some fun times. So, opponent played knight f8. Which, as you can see, the engine labeled with a blunders mark. What do we do? It's quite interesting, though, that there is no tactical refutation per se, so you don't need to find a tactic here. Moves, I'm hoping that that's not what you want me to review. That would not end well. Yeah, that was something else for sure. So what would we do here if we didn't know the double question mark here? Because that's what you need to do anyway. Well, you're too kind, moves. You're too kind. So, knight takes d5 looks strong. Uh-huh. Yes, knight d5. Very sharp, guys, you are. Very sharp, guys, you are. Knight d5, and if I take c8 hangs, if I take rook e7 hangs. Fabulous. I did not do this. It's second best. I simply took and played knight e5 because I had a tickling sensation that I'm going to rip my opponent's head off here. But in a way, I consider knight d5 to be a better choice because it's much more to the point and it's tactical. Yeah, Eric and Mr. Nova Chess Guy, they have both arrived with some seriously high level of T today. High T chess, also known as the correct way to play. High T. Okay, 95 c5 played, and you guys all know where this is going. At least Professor Rengau already does. Takes was played. Takes was played. Where do we go with the queen? We have got a rook e7 record. We have a queen b2 record. What else do we have? Both of these are winning moves, but neither was played. Actually, wait. Rook e7, queen e7. I don't know if that's winning. Yeah. I'm not digging that. Also, queen b2, rook c3 may be a bit of a problem. Well, I wouldn't call it a problem, but also this is a quite neat counter tactic. So we need to still be somewhat careful. Knight c6 does something. Yeah, it loses a piece. Actually, no, it loses a lot more than a piece. It loses at least a rock. Yeah. Rook e7 was the right idea, but the wrong execution, if that's a help. GM Patzer says queen takes c5 looks interesting. Yes, that's the move that we played, because if you don't sack your queen, are you even playing the game? And said game ended in the following fashion. Bishop takes. And here I took f7, which the engine thinks is shit. Pardon, not that great. But I'm not going to accept that. Rook takes c5 first is apparently +4. And this one is about 220. But I mean, who the fridge would take the bishop when you can take check first and then take the bishop? So we went take and take. And now we have got about 40,000 threats against which black has no adequate defense. But my opponent, he completely folded. The difference is that according to the engine, queen e8 is only legal move here. And then after rook takes d5, like I can't go, basically I can't do what I did in the game. Because after queen e8, I can't go rook c7 or c8. Because c8 is covered, c7 I can take here and then there is no threat. Whereas if I take c5 first, right, then after queen e8 I can take with the knight. That's the difference. And now it's an entirely different set of threats when the knight, where queen is terribly misplaced, because now I'm threatening this discovery, all kinds of discoveries are killing. So the little subtlety which in a blitz game I wouldn't even consider, let alone find. And I didn't consider it relevant anyway. So I took, they played queen d6, and that was basically the game handed over to me. Although once again, white is completely winning here already. But after rook c8, there is nothing they can do. Fortunately for me, they ended up giving me a check and captured the knight, which allowed checkmate finish. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the end. Of that game. It's a good call, or a good question full-wise, if you can call it a mistake if it's still winning, right? Because it doesn't impact the outcome of the game, in my opinion, like +4 versus +2.2. But it's definitely dropping quality and value and all of that. So you definitely need to be notified, so to speak, that you didn't quite play well enough. And now we're going to move on to community submissions. Yellow just dropping by. Normally I wouldn't highlight that, but since I know who you are, I must gently remind you that at a ripe age you should be proud. You should be proud. You should pride yourself on impeccable spelling. So please do not drop by. Dropping by with that P. Chief, the other day, now that I roasted your spelling, I played a, wait for it, buddy. I played an absolute banger in the Banker. Did I send you that game? Let me check. Yes, I did. Did you check it out? No, I didn't send it to you. I will send it in. Oh, I did. Okay. Anyway, this is our good friend, Dr. Guy. I forgot which color Dr. Guy is. Guy is white. No, I'm pretty sure that that's not the one I'm talking about, Sushi. It was a proper banker with black. I played God tier chess. I will find it for you. Anyway, Guy is white, Scandinavian. Okay, now we are sending a shout out to our good friend Fullwise, who subbed into the game yesterday in this opening. Queen d8, yep. This is not optimal, d4 is, but should transpose. Very good. I'm so happy that everyone makes a note and mention of the fact that I said that I wouldn't be streaming, and now people are happy to find me here. So yes, Courtney, the story was that there was so much positive energy and beauty coming across through the chat and the stream that I thought I couldn't handle it anymore. I needed to take a break from chat, and in particular from you, Courtney, so that I don't feel overwhelmed by emotion. But then I got a cancellation from work. They said, we don't need you, Courtney does. And I'm like, fair game, here I am. So, bishop e3. I do not like this move. Where would you put this bishop? Of all these squares, what appears to you to be the most appealing? And I would like to stress immediately that this is second best, but I would like to show you something. Indeed, I would like to put this bishop on f4, because on e3 I am just biting into the back of this pawn. But on f4 I'm controlling the center. Now usually the reason why people don't play this is because they are freaking out about this pin. Which of course love work cancellations. Yeah, so do I. I just lost $500 there, so we need to make up for that one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, why is this a dog poo move, and how do we react to it? Welcome back to Paul Murphy. Very good. We just kick it in the face. And it turns out that after queen f3 we are hitting b7, so they don't have time to take d4, and even if they did, us castling the queen side next, creating a pin on the d5 would wreak havoc anyway. So this is why I don't like playing bishop e3, because in a way it prevents a blunder, close to blunder, from the opponent. Good, good chess, good chess. No! Whoa! 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 Mr. Guy! What the heck? Bruv. Your opponent plays knight g4. What does that move tell you? What do they want to do? What's the purpose of this move? He wants to take the bishop, and so our response to that is, hey, you want to take my bishop? Allow me to force you to take that. What? You did what? First of all, they want the bishop pair. I don't want to give it to them. Second of all, even if I couldn't somehow prevent it from happening, why would I force it? That makes no sense. What is the correct move? You never got roasted, friend. You just got educated. What the fridge? Guys, is there anyone in the chat who uses Yahoo for email platforms? Have I just gone bonkers, or the entire platform just changed in the last 10 minutes? Apologies, I got distracted. So what is our move? Yeah, bishop needs to go, right? So either f4 or g5, but definitely not kicking this knight. No, I use both, Jazz, but yeah. No, that was Rangao, that we are done with that already. So we have dealt with, we shouldn't have gone here. But now we also shouldn't provoke, rather force the trade. Bishop f4 and then kick the knight in the face next. And this turns out to be a total waste of space of a move. Like, this is a tragic response to knight g4. It's the textbook case of shoot here. Like, seriously. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, take. Castle's very good. Yep, goody. Oh my god. Ay, 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 ay. a5. Alright. Yeah, well, even that would have been a lot better move, Courtney. You are correct, because then compared to the game, we would be one move ahead. And since h3 is useless like tits on a bull, yeah, definitely castles was a much better move. But, yeah, let's not allow that. Play bishop f4, play h3, play castles, and win the game super easy, yeah? Okay, a5. Now, in this position, we played a certain move that would have never occurred to me for white. I'm curious what chat would consider here to play. I'm very, very, very curious about this. A lot of recommendations are coming in. And there is a move that is being repeated that I completely do not understand at all. I understand every single move on the list. These are the moves recommended. a4, king b1, g4, e4, and h4. In this batch, there is a move that I do not understand. Like, I cannot explain to myself what it does. And I don't want to give it away. So I'm going to now ask you, chat, this. I wish we could do this very, very quickly. Can we explain a4? In terms of what it's meant to accomplish. I suppose we can. It's a horrid idea, but I understand why the person who said it, right? King b1, I understand it. There is not a chance I would play this move here, not in a million years. But this is actually the engine stop move, so I'm not going to roast it too much. But there is definitely not a chance I would do this. I understand e4. Because we should put pieces in the center. And you'll be surprised of all the moves I'm picking on why I'm going to pick this. I don't understand this move. Can anyone explain to me, preferably the people who recommended it, what the purpose of g4 is? Second best move by the engine, by the way. So, if you pick that move, you should be proud of yourself. Provided you can explain it to me and yourself why you played it. Nah, I have got plenty of time, Courtney. Type away. But what kingside storm? That's exactly my problem. Jeez, thank you for the dono, guys. What kingside storm? Like, what moves does the kingside storm include? Because we have done this a lot on my YouTube channel, and since all of you are regular watchers of my YouTube videos, we have discussed this, that the kingside or any pawn storm, the most important goal of a pawn storm is to open up files. I don't see how g4 contributes to opening files. So my question is, what is our follow-up move to g4? Let's say I play this and I play a pass with black. What do we do next? No, Sonics, you don't need to be a sub. Dude, you donate, which you have done. You have the right now to request a game analysis, which I shall provide. So how does this contribute? What is our next move? But if we want to play e4, then why do we play g4? You see what I'm asking here? Come on, wife. Knight h2, dude. Like, we're going backwards. Forget about that. So, let me take charge of the conversation here, because I would like to paint the picture and then we can re-engage with the conversation. If white wants to create a pawn storm here, the only file we can open up is the h file. Is it a yes or no? Are we agreeable that, yeah? Right. In order to open up the h file, I need h4, h5, h takes g6. Is this correct? So now I would like to understand how g4 fits the bill if I want to play h4, h5 and takes. Teach me. No, I didn't say that anything was bad. The only explanation to this would be if h4, h5 was good. But it's not. Because now we have got knight g5, bishop e2, and then g4 actually bites. Right now, if we play g4, we created a nothing. And in fact, we made our job harder, because now after h4 against the pass, when they take here, it's hanging. Right? Whereas if I play h4, bishop g4, then I can just go h5. And go nuts. Yeah? And ta-da, now we are going to have some jolly good time. So, I wasn't meaning to ever go at anyone, but g4 to me is the least productive way, to my human brain, to go about a kingside attack. And by the way, the engine now gradually is changing its mind too. The engine wants to swing the queen across to g2 and then continue the whole Shimazoli, but I'm not digging it. If I was white here, my two candidate moves would be bishop c4 or h4. I wouldn't really think about anything else. And fittingly, neither of those are in the top 3 engine moves, whereas g4 is. So, yeah. But, yeah, a5 was a shocker. Anyway, let's move on. We played bishop e2. I mean, in a way, I suppose it supports h4, h5, because we are on that diagonal. Yeah, bishop c4 walks into c5, b6, which is why I probably would settle for h4. Even correct. e6, that makes absolutely no sense. h4, brilliant. Very, very good. Knight c6, h5. This is how you attack. This is how you pawn storm. Because this is the file we want open. This is really good stuff. This is very good stuff. g5. What is our gut reaction move here? No hesitation whatsoever. Has to be played. That was a good joke, Jazz. e4, g4, we resign. Okay. Let's go again. What is our gut reaction move to this? No hesitation. Of course it is h6. Like, you cannot possibly allow these pawns to unite again and create a pawn chain. We failed our job of opening a file. So now we absolutely have to, we must separate these two pawns so that we can go after this guy on g5 and also open up this diagonal and find a target down there. You can literally not even consider any other move here. Like, h6 is a 1.5 better than anything else. Like, this is a knee-jerk reaction that you always have to do. Because if you allow these pawns to reunite, you just did absolutely nothing. We spent 4 moves on making the black king even stronger than it was. h6. No other move accepted. Bishop h8 played, knight e4 played. Very, very good chess, although here I actually prefer e4. And the reason why I do here is because now after g4, there are multiple ways how we can go after the king. Give me one move for white here, guys. This is the only good move, Mr. Guy, so you played it perfectly. What is our move here, folks? Rook h5 is brilliant. This is one of the ideas, one of the motives that you will go like, oh, wow. Do I like the fact that I played h6 earlier? Hello? Hello? That is, folks, why h6 is a non-negotiable. Because now with the separation of the pawn, we have a new target. Very good. Okay, knight e4, queen d5. Avon! Cheers, buddy.
I'm under analysis.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, knight is hanging, pawn is hanging. What do we do? What do we do? Knight c3 is where we came from, young man, and we don't go backwards. Knight fg5 is not bad. Knight fg5 is not bad, but immediately winning is rook h5. Game over. Which regrettably wasn't played in the game. Rook h5, what black resigns, because after f6 you can just take. And they can't retake because of rook g5 wins the queen. This is what aggressive attacking chess gets you. We took, which is also winning, but not quite as cleanly. f6. Now lots of winning moves. Rook h5, pawn c4. We played knight 8. Whoa. We played knight takes h7. Which is a fancy pants move, but I'm not 100% sold on it yet. So I'm not seeing queen f5 here. That is my problem. So if I sack a queen, a sack a knight in order to expose a king, and then we are facing a queen trade, I'm not excited. That being said, this is super creative. It's bad, but it's very creative. Because it creates a very nifty double attack. Unfortunately, knight b4 defends both. There is a shocking move here, guys, that allows white to stay on top. Very, very tricky to come by. Especially because this had to be foreseen, and it wasn't. Yeah, shockingly, actually forcing the queen trade, piece down, is the best move. This line is more or less forced. Takes. Takes. King g8. If f5, then we take knight g5. And with rook d g1, the black king is still ridiculously exposed. So, king g8 and g5. And this is one of those very rare cases where we actually have a genuine attack on the enemy king despite the absence of the queens. And white is likely still winning. Okay, let's move on. So we played queen a3, knight b4 played, very good. It's very unfortunate that not only does it stop both threats, but it creates a counter threat. Yeah, this is the first move that I very strongly dislike, because what you want to do is to deal with this knight and then play bishop d3. So for example, queen b3, kick the knight, win the queen. Looks to me like a plan of some sort. Or rook d2, kick the knight, win the queen. This is the first move that doesn't fit into what you have been doing at all. Because now you lost your most potent attacker for no reason. Man with head dog, e4, queen f4 check is obviously not that attractive, I'm guessing. Yeah, now this is just fishing in murky waters at best. I think essentially we are dead here. Yeah. Piece down, and now nothing is going on. And then we offer the queen trade, which was really, really tragic too. Right, so why did we lose this game? Number one, well, I don't think that this was a practical decision. So I'm going to speak up against this. I think you needed to find this move here, which is not an easy one. And the idea is that even after this, we don't have an immediate threat. But now the tension is still on. And queen d3 is going to be our next move, setting up an actual mate threat. I don't necessarily like this because now this requires very, very precise play. The next thing I didn't like is that we went queen when we could have gone bishop check here. I wasn't reflecting on this earlier. And yeah, this bishop d3 move, that was what really did it. Like, most of your attacking ideas are associated with this bishop. Trading this off, you forcing the trade, was a catastrophic decision. So you really, really needed here to find a move that allowed you to kick the knight and get the bishop on. But overall, I really like this game for the spirit in which it was played, which was aggro, 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 kill, kill, kill. If you have to lose a game, lose one like this. Like, this was definitely not some sissy chess. Okay, let's have a look at the other one. Far out, 13 moves, really? Okay, we won this in 13 moves with black. And the French. How can you win the French in 13 moves with black? Ah, it wasn't the French. Okay, it was your opponent had no idea about chess. Okay, I dig this. The only adjustment I would do here is I would take this first, then I would play knight f6 and then e5. But whatever, it makes not a lot of difference. Oh my word. What is this? Ay, 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 ay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why are we not getting the bishop here, friend? Why are we not getting the bishop here? This was watching a lot of Nelson. Can you please translate that to whatever lingo I can understand? What was you watching a lot of Nelson? While you are explaining that to us, I'm going to say that obtaining bishop pair and the guardian of this square was absolutely a must. Bishop d6, castles, f5, e4, game over. Yeah, I know that Nelson is chess vibes, I just don't understand what you're referring to. Or the last game, I see. Well, most of it was really good. Most of it was really good. Very good. Can't believe they played bishop c2. Very good. I don't like bishop c5 because you just walked headfirst into d4. Yeah, I know who Nelson is. Okay, so let's tidy this up. If you want to play a bishop move, it should go to d6 so that you are not pestered by d4 and you can castle. But there are a few moves that I like more than any bishop move here. I really do like, surprisingly, queen g5. Which disallows the d-pawn moves because it hits the bishop. And it also happens to threaten with bishop f5 to d3, which is the best threat you have on the board. No, they do not rank out. Do not assume that. Nelson is Nelson Lopez, the owner of Chess Vibes, a hugely successful YouTube channel. I don't hate g6 actually on that note. g6 here is also acceptable, but I find this a little bit clumsy. I prefer queen g5 because it contributes to developing my queen side so I can castle here. Right, so now I'm playing bishop f5, I'm playing castles. That's as clean as it gets. No, guys, the Nelson reference was to the first game where Mr. Guy was attacking like a mad lad, which is what Nelson likes to do. It had nothing to do with this French garbage that you're looking at from White's perspective. You misunderstood what was going on there. Okay, so bishop c5, strong dislike from... What? Guy, what the hell is this, man? Hello? What? Hello, Tindy! Tindy in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Just when I was getting the upper hand in the flirting department comes Tindy and takes all the glory from me. I have been investigating the Nachmanson gambit. Any thought? Yes. Write it in capital letters on a piece of toilet paper. Then do what most humans do. And then forget about it for life. Okay, so, Mr. Guide, this is not an acceptable chess move. So, yeah, this is what I said to Nelson too, indirectly, in my concluding thoughts about the commentary about his tournament performance. If you don't want to, if winning is not priority, then you can play moves like this. If you would like to win, then you cannot just play random chess and hope for the best. And this cannot be translated as I'm getting 2 pawns for the knight, because no one gives a toss about the pawns here. It's irrelevant. The way I want you to see it is that you are down a piece. And the number of pawns you currently have for them is totally irrelevant, because all of those pawns are sitting on the base square. They don't represent any value. So, short to midterm, you are just down a piece for nothing. Like nothing. Absolute zero counter value here. That's what this is. And by the way, here, considering the immense lead in development you have, after bishop d6, you're still completely winning. So, what happened here is that you made a suboptimal move, which turned your large advantage to a smaller one, and then you continued your suboptimal move with a blunder. This cannot be described in any other way. Don't do that. Am I flirting with Rengao again? Yes, it's an ongoing love affair. We were reluctant to admit to it, but here it is. We have to come out sooner or later, so here you go. Yeah, no, this is not acceptable. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oopsie daisy. That's how you win a game of chess in 13 moves. Ay, 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 ay. Okay. I will refrain from saying anything other than someone else paid for a analysis. Was that the Sonics or was that Mr. Aven? I forgot now who it was. Can someone jog my memory, please? No, it wasn't Aven. Okay, it was the Sonics. Okay, Mr. Sonics, send the goods, please. Send the goods. Or you already have. Because I have a message. No, I don't actually. Send me the PGN to my ChessCom DMs. Please. Wise? Never heard of that. What I'm thinking about is setting up a crypto wallet so that you guys can donate crypto, because I'm sure that you guys have got a lot of loose Bitcoin that you want to give me, right? Thank you, Mr. Guy. Thank you, thank you. Checking the DM. You would like to buy my... Oh, speaking of buying my shit, guys, I am going to come out with merch soon. I am gonna come out with merch soon, and you will not be able to resist it. Alright. Mr. Sonics. By the way, is that name the Sonics? Is it a reference to Seattle Supersonics or? And what color are we? We're white. We're white. Okay. The band, the Sonics. Okay. Cool. All right. So we are facing the Portuguese gambit, also known as the Levy garbage. Why would anyone who has a Bitcoin would be in a chess stream? Because being filthy rich and having a hobby, as far as I am aware, are not mutually exclusive ideas. As a matter of fact, I do know for a fact that there are people watching me now who own Bitcoin or used to. What am I gonna sell you? Jumper and I don't like my camera, it's still pointing too low. Mostly clothing and shit, like the standard merch. Alright, let's go back to Sonic. D4. Bishop G4, and my friend Sonic, you just betrayed yourself. You do not have my chessable repertoire, which is very, very sad. I would like to ask you to please shape the F up. Because this is not cool, man. So, if you want to lose chess games in a very spectacular manner, you play F3 here. If you would like to win chess games in a very easy manner, you play Bishop B5 check here, which is my recommendation against the garbage gambit. The idea is very simple. If they play C6, you actually take it. Yes, I know that F3 is the best move according to the engine, so if you can play like the engine, do that. If you think like a human, then do what I'm telling you to do. So take C6, if they take D1, you just play C7 and we win a piece, because we're going to take their queen, this knight and this bishop down here. So it is completely unplayable. If they play knight D7, then you pull the bishop back, take, and this position is something that I get a lot against aficionados of the Portuguese gambit, and they hate their life. Because this is passive as hell, and they hope to get some counterplay and funky attacks. And last but not least, if they drop the bishop back, you just pull the bishop back, and again, they are in a miserably passive position with zero attack. Why do you not have my chessable course, man? Like, seriously. Ay. Yeah, I mean, this is butt ugly, man. That's what that is. And no one likes to play butt ugly moves. No, you need to buy the course. That's why I show it so fast. Because you are poor. What is that an answer to? Bro, you donated to me double the money in the past 2 days than what my course costs. More than double, actually. I'm not talking about lessons. I'm talking about my course. Which is an entire repertoire. No. I'm throwing. I know. Okay, let's go. Bishop D3. Yeah, so now you are having this pawn on F3 sticking out like a sore thumb. Like, this is why I don't play this shit. So basically the idea is that if you play F3, according to the engine at least, you need to try to hang on to this pawn. And this is exactly what these guys want you to do, where they can start sacking pawns like mad and get into this gambit, where black has a shit ton of counterplay. This is suicide to play into this, unless you have got the brain of an engine. Which is why you don't play F3, which is what the engine tells you to do.
Feel the power. You feel my power, baby? Feel my power.
Do we recognize the audio, guys? Do we recognize the audio? It's coming back, baby.
Yo, show me the money! Show me the money! Yo, show me the money!
Right, let's go. Sorry, I had to have some fun because I'm bringing back the stream elements that some of you might be missing. D5, holy Moses! Friends, enemies, everybody in the house. You have got 47,592 pieces back at home begging you to develop them. And you do this. I beg you to explain this to us mere mortals. Because if you are my student and you are not playing one of these two moves, I'm like, bro, what happened with our chess principles? How is your next move here not one of these two? Explain yourself. Tindy, thank you so much for the 20 buckies. If you don't stop freaking donating, I'm gonna hit you. There are some idea that I can't remember. It must have been a very good idea if you can't remember it. This is textbook case of lower rated players reinventing the wheel in chess. You need to develop your pieces. The irony is that you probably played d5 to stop the development of the knight. That worked out great, didn't it? Okay. The second rule of development, actually first rule of development, Mr. Sonics. This is, by the way, in my Chessable course for beginners about opening principles, is that we develop knights before bishops. Like that. So, this doesn't look to me like a knight. This does. Chris Kalav coming in strong on the YouTube. Okay. Mate, this is the antithesis of chess. Like, give me one reason why you would take this. But before you do, let me explain to you what's going on here. Your opponent, look at how he's playing chess here. Just watch. Develop. 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 See this? Develop. Every move, when they are not pestered by you, meaning they don't have to move a piece because it's under attack, they are playing beautiful principal chess. What are we doing? We played unlimited number of pawn moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Insane amount of pawn moves. Now we develop a bishop instead of knights. Then we trade bishop for knight. And at the same time, we develop their bishop. This encompasses beautifully everything that you should not do in an opening. Like, you look at this position and you look at what black has done. Picture perfect. What white has done, utter catastrophe. So everything you did, you should forget about it and learn from this side. I in particular am in shock that you took this instead of developing your pieces. I really am wondering what motivated you to take this to bring out their bishop a lot faster than they ever could. I think so, Cheese Greasy. Yes, I think so. Yeah, this was a shocker. And if we did this because of the double pawns, that's gonna just make me internally cry for half an hour. Okay, knight c3, good. Knight b4, goodish. Knight e5 was better. Yep. Yeah, but see, Sonics, the problem is that you learn the most about a chess player and what they know and what they don't know about the game when they are caught out of theory. That's when their true colors come through and shine. Because when you are in theory and you are blitzing out something that you were programmed to do, that tells me bugger all about your chess knowledge. But when you are caught out of book and you have to figure it out yourself, that's when you actually demonstrate your knowledge of chess. And that tells me here that your knowledge has got ginormous gaps in it. I'm not saying that you are a bad player. I'm saying that your knowledge has got some very, very serious gaps in it. Like giving up bishop, spending 2 moves to take this knight and allow this bishop to come out is like, and keeping these at home, very, very serious issues there. I definitely would have played a bishop c5 and a rook e8 because this is what good chess looks like. Funnily enough, I'm threatening to win the game. This is where your opponent started dropping the ball by playing that, forcing you to develop your knight. That's very good. 94 was great. But now you need to watch bishop e3, but luckily b4 is hanging, so never mind. Oh boy. Okay, we are back on track. Okay, now we are beginning to play really good chess, actually. Yeah. I would have considered here put... Oh, never mind. No, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Okay, yep, now you are in charge, buddy. Now you are in charge. Oh my. Hi, hi. G5, folks. G5, pawn storm, hey? And what's the plan? G4, and after F4, we resign. Right, okay. Okay, chat. You to move with white. Where do you put this knight and why? Nah, bishop takes f6 was absolutely horrendous. You are never going to ever recover from that. Or rather, I should say that we are never going to justify a move like that. That's a cardinal sin. Off to Canossa to repent. Does anyone know in the chat the reference to Canossa? Exactly, like my friend, why are we not going to d4? Hello? d4. Put your pieces in there. Why are Tikari and Forlan on YouTube? Because they are very kind supporters of what's more important, which is YouTube. So why don't we put this knight in the center, my brother, instead of putting it on c3? Like from c3 you can go to e4, but aren't we on a mission to kill this guy? So naturally you are gravitating toward that side of the board rather than that way. Alright, I like how the Canossa reference went absolutely... So here comes the educated me now schooling you folks a little bit. So Canossa is the name of a, if I'm not mistaken, Italian city where the Pope was residing back in the day. We're talking about 1200s. And King Henry IV has done some fuckery and the Pope excommunicated him. And back in the day, that was really, really, really bad news. It's like, you were done. And so what he did was that he walked on barefoot to the town of Canossa and he begged the Pope to let him in the town. It was surrounded by a massive wall. And he was literally staying outside the walls of Canossa for a couple of days, sleeping rough, eating hardly anything, yada, 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 begging the Pope to let him in and relieve him from the excommunication or reverse the decision. And ultimately the Pope had to do it. And yeah, afterward, Mr. King Henry IV screwed him over big time. But doing a Canossa is basically a reference to repenting in a major way for a royal cock-up. You're welcome. You are welcome. I saw that you beat Gotham Chess. Yeah, I played him about 2 or 3 days ago. Accidentally on, we got paired in a bullet game. He was actually streaming it, I wasn't. Alright, so yeah, knight c3, strange. That's outright horrid because now they are doing our job of opening the b file. And we still go knight e4. Brav. Okay, you know what, I will let it slide. I thought we would go this way, but this is actually now not too bad coming to c5. Rook b1 was the most natural way to pursue the attack and then come in here, and now all of our pieces are flooding in. This is what attacking looks like. Ooh, isn't d6 winning a piece? Hello? Ah, played! Played. Very good. Now, I particularly like the fact that we take the piece instead of the rook. We are nothing if not consistent. Nothing if not consistent. Holy smokes. Okay. Why aren't we playing this check, friend? Asking for a friend? Isn't this your #1 candidate move here, folks? Since after king takes knight c5 check, the king can't go to the e file because of rook e1, and this way we are getting killed. Yeah, checks, captures, and threats usually gives you a win when you are completely winning. Yeah, this was not it. This was definitely not it, friend. That was a very, very poorly executed calculation, or the lack thereof. By the way, also knight c5 creates a double threat, so I am very confused about what went down here with rook b1. Yeah, some of this game is quite decent, and the bigger part of it is extremely shaky. Very, very, very shaky. Missing knight c5, even if you don't see d7, missing knight c5 was big, man. You're too excited from being not losing, but bro, like, you are now plus 10. So the times of not excited losing, that went out in the window here. Right? Like, from here on out, it's not the excitement that I'm not losing, it's the excitement that the game is over in the next 5 moves. And you should take it upon you as like a personal failure if you don't put this away in about that amount of moves. And I'm looking at, hello, we are on 21 and this game went on till 57. How? White rating 2008, black rating 2046. You what? Holy Moses. Oh, well, but even in Lichess Classical, man, that's like, yeah, like this doesn't look like 1800. I hate to tell you this. But this looks like some rating acquired on the dark web, like Silk Road, or I don't know. Okay, isn't this winning a rook? As in an exchange, but since we are up a piece, it's gonna be a rook. Actually, I should have asked the chat to find it, but I guess this would have been pretty easy. Like, knight here hits the rook and the fork. Of course, Renga. Of course. That's my side hustle. Okay, let's continue. I'm not sure I understand this move. But I will let it slide. But queen c4 is not a threat because of knight b6, correct? Oh, Jack Hugs! Jesus! Holy Jesus. Jack Hugs hasn't been online for 7 years. Have you had like 2 more kids in the interim, or what happened? Alright. Rook c1. Goodie. Rook e8. a4. Okay. Rook e2. Logical. a5. Very good. Good chess. Well, to give you a reference, Mr. Quadruple Y, I am 2600 rapid. So, yeah. Smurfett, I actually refuse, or I rather very strongly feel about people shit-talking that tournament, because as much as dirty things may have gone down there, it has absolutely zero to do with the tournament itself. And I apologize to the Sonic for this detour, but I feel the need to speak up here for the sake of justice. Like, whether points are being sold at a tournament or not, in order to obtain more rating or a norm, that has nothing, fundamentally nothing to do with the tournament itself. If you are a tournament organizer and someone who has the desire to buy points and other people who have the desire to sell points enter your tournament, it's completely out of your control. As soon as you are organizing a round-robin tournament that allows people, by virtue of having the necessary rating and international players requirement, allow them to score norms, you can't control what goes on behind the scenes. Like, that tournament is not designed to buy and sell norms. That's not done by a tournament or a city or a certain tournament organizer. That's done by people who are on the verge of scoring a norm and then want to secure it by dirty means. And where and what tournament it happens, which it inevitably does, has nothing to do with the tournament organizer or a particular, you know, tournament or city or whatever. It's unfortunate that it does happen more in the mentioned tournament, simply because it is an organization that is designed to allow players to play in tournaments where you have the guaranteed chance to score a norm. For those of you who are still in the dark, when you are pursuing a norm, right, there are requirements that you must meet in order to accomplish that norm. And that's not only that you score X amount of points out of X amount of games. You have to play against a certain amount of title players, and you have to play against international players, meaning that if you play in the US and all 9 of your opponents are US citizens or US FIDE rated players, or registered as, US for FIDE purposes, you don't score a norm. And so what the first Saturday tournaments do is that they organize a tournament every single month where they guarantee you that these criteria are met. They are guaranteeing you a rating average, they guarantee you the title players, and they guarantee you the nationalities. So when you rock up, all those criteria are tick, tick, tick for you. All you need to do is to accomplish the requirement for the norm. And as such, this becomes a little bit of a hotbed for potentially buying and selling points, because if you are on the verge of a norm and you are rich and you have got low morals, then you're just rich in the pocket, you buy a point and ta-da, it happens. But to blame the tournament on this, in my opinion, is unjust and unfair. Back to game analysis. Oh, look, it's completely immoral. Like, I'm not defending the act of buying points. I'm pretty sure I made that clear. It's shady as hell. But it's the player who buys and the players who sells. It's not the tournament organizer who is responsible for this. That's merely what I'm saying. That let's put the blame on who deserves it, not on anyone else. This is quite cute. So we can't take the queen because we have got a back rank mate. So what you normally would want to do here is that, so the pragmatic thinking in my head says this. If I can't take this because this is hanging, I want to move this. And I really want to move it out of the way so that they can't tag me anymore. So like a crazy move like this would be my first idea to get out of dodge. Because now this is on, the whole lot is on. When did I win a piece? Oh my god, bro. Like, serious. About 7 years ago when you played d6 here and you disconnected the queen from the knight, that's when you won the piece. And here you forgot to win this chess game with that. Now we are playing good chess again. Wait, I'm so confused. It's like... It's four's mate. How did this game go on for 50 more moves? I see. Okay, this is not easy. This is not easy at all. I would play queen b6 as well. And after rook c1, rook c1, rook c1, rook c1, a b6, you win. So I don't blame you for this. But queen d5 is crazily a four's mate. We check, 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 and then check. And then check here. And then mate here. But this, I'm willing to forgive because it's quite a tricky idea. And it's very apparent that if you just take the queen, we win the game. That is weird as hell, though. Why would you go here instead of just taking this? What? That is an insanely weird decision to play queen g1 here instead of taking the rook. Like, you're losing your queen in either case for a rook, right? So, let's compare the situations. You go here, there is 2 rooks versus 1. In my case, there is no rooks left on the board. So that already means mine is a heap better. And on top of that, now it's your turn, and you can cut this king off forever. Meaning that from here on out, my daughter would win this. What? And then we rock up with queen g1? I mean, it's winning too, but like, it's so impractical, it's not even funny. Also, why on earth are you taking this with the rook and not with the king? I don't mean to split hairs, but what is going on here, man? Rook takes. Wow. Alright. Loving the vibes here. Loving the vibes. I also don't understand this move when you can just come around. Dude, you made this an absolute slugfest that it didn't have to be. Young man, time to go back to the drawing board. Opening principles. Opening principles. Ay, 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 ay. This is not a pretty game, man. But I'm glad you submitted this because it highlighted quite a fair number of things that are not going well in your chess. Amazing night a lot. The very simple answer to your question about how much theory is in the Ruy Lopez, a lot. If you want me to be more precise, a shit ton. Okay, shout out to my friends who played the banker. I am going to finish today's stream on the banker. You are most welcome, the Sonics. I would love to see at least one more of your games. Because obviously you very unfortunately exposed the lowest of lows. So maybe it would be interesting to see how you perform when you're doing well. No, you can chuck it in, but I'm going to show you this in interim to the chat because this is an absolute banger. Have a look at this. Oh, Mr. Jackax, you had a baby boy. That's brilliant news, buddy. Congratulations. I have been doing well, thank you. And I wish that young boy of yours lots of joy and happiness and health. And to mom too. Have you been chessing at all, or you are just catching up on sleep? And yes, Jazz is correct. Send me the account. All right. Castles 97, BD3. And here our good friend. I play pretty much everything against e4. Lots of different Sicilians, e4, e5. I often dabble around with the modern. And so on. I don't play tournament competitive chess I haven't played for 15 years, so that's irrelevant. But generally speaking, I would play some kind of Sicilian because I would want to kick their ass. Sicilians. Sicilians all the way, baby. Alright, black to move. What do we do? Mike, I really like the Schliemann too. I think it was a great choice there. Some people don't like it, but I reckon it's absolutely fabulous. Joy, you the man, my friend, you the man. We don't have time here to dick around with a6 because we get kicked with f4. And so we go boomski. Let's bring on the banker. Let's bring on the banker gambito. Now, of course, the knight can't capture because e4 is on. And so cb is forced. And now we go a6. And this introduces the banker gambit idea where we want to put a lot of pressure on these pawns down here. It is pretty good, yeah. I mean, this is not a banker. This is a very good banker for black because of the things that white has done. So it's definitely a suboptimal version from white. But the other day I played the banker, I absolutely shredded. I absolutely shredded with the banker. All right. Bishop takes. Queen c2. Black to move. Give me a move. Good to hear, Jackax. Good to hear. That's a good idea. Move reco, please. Move reco, please. I have got a knight c4 in. Good move. I have got a bishop e2, knight e2, knight c4 in. Also good move. What is the most natural move in the position? Joy Fred says rook fb8. Shout out to Joy Fred. Bring all the boys to the party. This is what good chess looks like. Every stream I say it 5 times. This is what separates very strong players from ordinary players. That they do the basics well. This is already a tragic position for white with the knight still back at home. Rook b1 played. Knight fd7 played, opening up the diagonal and potentially floating c4, knight c5, knight d3 with dire consequences. f4 played. Where do we go? It transposed into a banker structure, but it wasn't a banker directly. Started off as a kid. No, no takers as to where the knight goes. Really? Oh, Mike is coming to the rescue. Knight c4. Very good, Mike. Indeed. Bish takes. Bish takes. Let's go. Let's go, friends. What do we do? Which Diamond of Bronstein game are you referring to, Rengao? I don't know. I have that in my head. Ah, that one. Good old Benko. Yeah. All right, so here we went in for an absolutely fabulous murder. We played bishop takes c3. Chameleon, yes, sometimes. But on stream I can't anymore because I'm streaming to YouTube and there are issues there. Jado, long time no see. Bishop takes, queen takes. Rook b2, queen a1. King f2, check. What would you do now? No, that was actually correct, FQ. That was correct. G5. I dig that, Mr. Tikari. I dig that, but not sure what you want to do in case I take your bishop. Oh yeah, the queen trade is absolutely belted there. I can't play music on stream, buddy, because we get muted. Knight f6 also seems to be met by the capture of this. Rook a2 is very close. You just went one square too far. It's rook a3. Who can find a very, very neat finish here? Black to move, be a rockstar. There are multiple ways to go about it, but the one played was the best. All in with bishop takes d5. That bishop is no longer on the board, so that makes it easy. Rook takes rook, queen takes rook, queen e1, but that allows king d3. Close, but no cigar. Check, says Rengao. Okay. Rook b3 was good before too, but this is actually best. Rook takes, queen takes, and give me a really, really cool move now. Now queen e1 fails to king here, right? Also to knight e2. Isn't knight e5 hanging, Courtney? Knight b6, ladies and gentlemen, because when you have got a rook hanging, you need to hang a knight as well. Now that introduces a few beautiful mates. Queen a3, knight c4, checkmate is not bad. Queen takes b6, rook takes c3, king d2, and then the standard pattern check, 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 checkmate, also not bad. Beating a 2600 rated grandmaster with black in 24 moves like this, also not bad. How are you support? Come on, man. Like, you have got one piece that is not participating in the attack. It's a mate in one threat. The only question that you are supposed to ask yourself is, how is one not supposed to see that? I refuse to accept that this is a difficult move to consider or see. Is it a lifeline tactic? I don't know what that means. Nice game. Yes, I thought so. Thought so. Alright, fabulous humans. We are gonna call it a day here. The man has to do some work. be good, be nice to each other. And the good news is that you're going to see my ugly face tomorrow again. So please make sure that you tune in. We are going to stream tomorrow again. For now, I'm going to read you off to Blood Queen. That lovely lady and I are cooking something together. Do an arena. Yeah, I am off duty. I'm not doing that work. I'm doing chess work now. Same time. Roughly. Same time. Same time, ladies and gentlemen. Same time. Alright, have a good one, folks. Thank you for tuning in. It was good fun. I will see you in the next one.